Welcome viewers to this NPTEL course on education leadership. In the last class we are discussing about managing diversity and inclusion. So, we were at the towards the end of the subject, like we are just concluding and making our observations in a very comprehensive way and suggesting some recommendations. So, as we have already discussed that how to prepare our students, our teacher, our staff to be the global citizens by addressing the different issues of diversity and leverage diversity for the global benefit for the welfare of our community. So, in that way it has been suggested multicultural education as a shift in the curriculum. So, as we have already discussed, the content and curriculum should also incorporate the various global issues, various cultural, that means global cultural issues, international political issues, economic issues, social issues. So, the education curriculum should be multicultural. So, multicultural education has been advocated and it should be a priority in the curriculum framework. Then the institutional environment, classroom climate, teachers' competencies or the teaching styles. We have to bring the reform and update our institutional environment to make it more eco-friendly, sustainable, to be more teacher-friendly, student-friendly and more a kind of independent, autonomous kind of environment where everybody can freely express their ideas, opinions, thoughts, etc. It is more innovative. It has to be very democratic atmosphere. Then the classroom climate should also be very conducive and teachers' competence. Teachers are very competent enough to deliver their best. They are professionally competent. They maintain the high interpersonal relationship. Their teaching styles also is very suitable for the individual learner, for adopting the individual learner styles. They use the latest technology for the not only for the curriculum transaction and delivery of the things, but latest standards of evaluation, assessment, etc. So, the teachers are very competent to update themselves and the pedagogical approaches are very student friendly, learner friendly, or very kind of more democratic in its approach and innovative in its style. Then standardized testing to be introduced to maintain the equality, to maintain the transparency of the evaluation system. Then there should not be any funding discrepancies. So, and we have to that means we have to be very vigilant about the market trend, the job market trend, or what the employers actually they require, they need, what is the requirement of the organizations, of the employers, of the society, etc. Similarly, we have to update the basic understanding of the multiculturalism is a system of beliefs and behavior. So, multiculturalism or multicultural education is not just enough to be in the curriculum, but we have to practice it in terms of our beliefs, in terms of our behaviors and performances, and retention of students and completion of their students. Now, it is not enough that the large number of students have enrolled themselves in an institution, but they have not completed the degrees and courses. So, we have to ensure that the students whoever have enrolled in the institution for different degrees and the programs, they are not only retained, but they successfully could complete the degrees and their academic programs successfully and get well placed also in the job sector or in the society. So, there is mad rush for the technical. For some time a few years back, so there was a huge mad rush for the technical education, but that should not be there. It should be equally distributed. So, that mad rush for the technical education has resulted in mushrooming of the technical colleges without maintaining the good quality. So, we have to curb this. We have to curb this trend of not opening the number of technical colleges, etc. Rather, we have to open more and more vocational training centers for the skill development and how to tie up our institution with the vocational education or the skill development centers for for developing this kind of skills and competency among our students. And then school education in India is also not in a very better position. So, and that is the nucleus of I can say our education system. Hence, like in other countries like the some European countries like Finland, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, etc., where the school education system is very robust, very strong, and all the citizens, they are bound to attain this schooling from the public schools or a public education system. Hence, we have to strengthen our public education system or the system in our country. That does not mean that we have to remove all the private schools, or you can say all the international schools or the missionary schools. So that does not mean that, but we have to strengthen our government's effort of making the public school education more public and more qualitative and with more kind of good teachers, good infrastructure, technology access, etc. We have to strengthen especially our government primary schools, especially in the rural setup, to strengthen our public education system and to bring it at par with the other private school or the missionary schools which are already providing the good quality, because we have to remove the disparity among the learners, among the lower socioeconomic strata. That means the poor people, those who cannot afford it, they are not getting into the good schools, and in the government sector, the primary school, the rural schools, they do not have sufficient sufficient quality education, good quality education or infrastructures, hence they lag behind, and as a result of that they drop out. So, we have to uplift the total school education, especially in the government sector, public schools in the rural sector, government sector public schools, to bring the parity, in terms of quality education. Now, in one of the summit, our chairman of planning commissions, he has once said that inequality in education is the root cause of economic inequality. As we have seen, that is, inequality lies at the grassroots level in terms of the access to school education. Like in the rural setup, even though the schools are there, but they are of the poor quality in terms of infrastructures, in terms of quality, and even though the government is making effort to provide all kinds of books, learning materials, and then uniforms, midday meal, etc., etc., but there is no regulatory body to control, to monitor all these things. So the regulation regulatory mechanism is not effective to monitor and supervise and bring it back to the main track. So that is why inequality prevails, especially in the primary sector, in the rural sector. So that inequality education is actually the root cause of the economic inequality. We can also even find out the difference between a central government school and the state government school, the public school, private school. Nowadays these international schools are there, smart schools are there in the metropolitan, in the big cities, etc. And the people who can afford to attend this school, they are from the higher economic strata, and they are studying in these schools. Whereas the poor people are studying in the rural primary schools, they couldn't get all these facilities, etc. So they are not being motivated enough to come up to the higher education and seek a good job. So there the disparity begins, there the inequality begins. We have to map this, we have to improve this, and we have to make it at par. Similarly, he also announced that improving the quality of school education is the dire necessity. It's the agenda of the preparing the 5-year action plan or the socio-economic development parameters. So improving the quality school education, that is the main theme, that is the focus of upbringing or developing the whole education system, or this is, you can say, this is the backbone of our whole education system. Even though we invest a lot in the higher education, but because of the poor quality at the school level, poor quality of the students, of the teachers at the grassroots level, at the primary school level, so we couldn't get the advantage or the benefits of these huge resources. So, therefore, in the next 5-year plan, he advocates for the more funds to be allocated for the expansion of education, not only in the higher education, but at the primary level. That is, even though we advocate for the right to education, but we very often do not ensure whether the good quality education has been provided or not. So, we have to focus on the good expansion both at the primary, the school level and the higher level, and the equality. You have to ensure equality in terms of access, quality education, infrastructure, resources, etc., and we have to target, we have to focus on bringing excellence, academic excellence, professional excellence. Similarly, another company CEO, he has also said that means in one of the workshop, he says that India is also facing some of the challenges in human resource sector, like USA also, and USA and other countries also, in terms of in its service sector primarily, and that is why he has advocated for some of the reforms, like emphasis would be given on the skill development and 21st century generic skills. Now, our educational entrepreneurs, educational leaders and the government, they are also advocating for the skill development and introduce the different kinds of skill development skills and SDS, and how to promote the skill development and training among our youths, among our school dropouts, among our rural youths, etc., and how to develop this 21st century generic skills among them to be market ready, to be employment ready. So, the MHRD also is engaged in expanding the higher education, especially for science and technical education, and but at the same time it should also focus on interdisciplinary research. So, it is not just enough to expand it at the higher education level, but to focus on interdisciplinary research through collaboration, collaborative work between industry and academia, what the industry expects and the academia should also deliver it. So, interdisciplinary research to be promoted. Then we have to also enhance the quality of school education and the teachers at all levels. That is, quality of education. In order to ensure the quality of school education, we have to ensure that the teachers are of good quality, teachers have been trained properly, teachers have been educated properly, teachers are motivated enough to do the job. Similarly, students will be more motivated to come to the school regularly and attend the classes. So, we have to promote quality education, quality school education, as well as the teachers' quality. So, now the government's effort have been made to to introduce so many projects and the national level projects and the missions like NPTEL. So, NPTEL National Program of Technology Enhanced Learning, it's again it's a new venture, it's a mission, and there is a project started from 2003, and it advocates for the large number of the technical and science courses to be redesigned, that means to be taught, to be video recorded and being distributed to all the technical colleges, professional colleges, and now it has also become the free in the almost free in the YouTube also, in the YouTube. So, any college, any student, any teacher can go through these videos and can update their knowledge and the skills. So, all our academic institutions, both private and government, should carefully plan for the future. It is not just that we are chalking out the action plans for the present year or the next 2-year plan, but for the future, keeping in mind our like 2020 vision or the 2030 vision, etc. We have to plan carefully for our future and must ensure that the equity and the access to quality education. That means, from the rural children to rural youth to the top level employee in a MNC, all of them, they should have equal access and opportunity to quality education, professional excellence, interdisciplinary research, and diversity management should be the focus, and that these are expressed in terms of the core values and missions of the institutions. All the institutions, they must focus in their vision and the mission and the goals, the action plans, that how they welcome diversity, how they manage diversity, what should be the core values and the missions of their agenda, of their 5-year plan, of their future plan. Similarly, institutions should also provide the climate, the work culture, the environment, the atmosphere to promote diversity, to welcome diversity, because it also opens up our mind, our outlook, etc., to know about the different people from all across the globe, from different corners of the world, and to develop a kind of mindset to live together to be the global citizen. So, from time to time also they should conduct the diversity audit to evaluate how diversity is constructed. Every institution, every organization, every college, every university, from time to time, maybe annually, they must make a diversity audit to evaluate how diversity friendly they are, how they have leveraged the diversity, what strengths and weaknesses are there in their diversity planning, how they have utilized it, how they have embraced it, how they have executed their policies and implemented it, and how they have encouraged it in terms of interdisciplinary programs, interdisciplinary activities, interdisciplinary cultural exchange program. Nowadays, we are having all these student exchange program, faculty exchange program, scholarship program all across the globe for the collaboration partnership, not only in terms of interdisciplinary research, for post-doctoral program, for technical BTech program, internship program, then the employee exchange programs, all kinds of collaborations nowadays exist, and we must take advantage of this, we must utilize this properly. So, our colleges and universities must review their mission statements, planning documents, assessment procedures and the budgets to ensure that quality and diversity are constructed as genuinely central to their academic excellence. So, from the quality, from the diversity and inclusion to now quality, how to blend quality with diversity. So, quality, diversity and inclusion. Diversity automatically takes into account the inclusion, equality. So, how we can provide the quality and diversity in a well constructed manner, and it should be our central theme, and it should be our central theme of academic excellence and professional achievements. Now, the public purpose of the education system should be, now as we have already suggested, recommended for our public school system should be to be very robust, to be very value driven, to be very quality oriented, to be very academic oriented, etc. So, the public purpose of the education should be like to improve the quality of teaching and learning. So, the teachers' quality to be improved, the teachers must be motivated to deliver the best, teachers academic excellence and the professional competence to be developed from time to time through continuous learning courses. Similarly, the quality of teaching, the curriculum, similarly the learning pedagogy and the students performance, students motivation for learning, students access to resources, open resources and ICT use, technology use should also be ensured for the enhancement of the domain knowledge as well as the soft skills required for the workplace. So, from the very beginning, from the school stage itself, we must encourage, we must incorporate, we must integrate the diversity curriculum, technology access, open learning of resources, learning resources, and technology access through by using the mobile learning, by by teaching the students even at the school level through mobiles. So, by downloading so many of educational resources, online tools, etc. So, through mobile learning also, how to ensure that not only the domain knowledge, but also soft skill required for the workplace. If we can make our school environment very diverse from the very beginning, from the primary level itself, then we can update the domain knowledge of our children, of our students, as well as their soft skills and interpersonal skills at the workplace. So, to provide the access to quality education and equal opportunity to all races, ages, ethnicities and socio-economic background, and ensure the commitment for the active participation in the civic and the social life. So, again and again we are talking about the access to quality education and equal opportunity in terms of resources available or resource access. So, equal access to quality education to everybody, to all children, to all youth, to all students, and equal opportunity to all people, to all citizens to avail the facilities, to avail the resources, to avail the facilities all across the ethnic groups, all across the different communities, etc., and to encourage them, to motivate them to actively participate in the social life, in the civic life, through service orientation, through extension services, etc. So, we have to develop this citizenship behavior, that is the citizenship behavior. So, global citizenship behavior. and make them not only socially aware of, but to develop a kind of service orientation. Service orientation means I am being educated, or my country is, or my school is investing on me, then hence I have to that means deliver something, I have to give back to my society something. So, that kind of service orientation should be developed from the very beginning. So, to serve as an avenue of social mobility for the disadvantaged and minority citizens, and as a place of open debate for the critical issues. So, education, diversity friendly education, school education, college education, that means it should be a platform, it should be platform for all citizens to, for the social mobility, for the employment opportunity, for being the global citizen, for open access, for resolving the critical issues of the challenge, to be the active participants, active social change agents, and global citizen. So, who can deal with all the critical issues of the society. Now, with the social networking, like Facebook, Twitter, or whatever technology access, social networking site, all our citizens, all our children, all our students, every citizen, they are very active, and they prove themselves to be the global citizens. So, by actively, quickly, promptly responding to a kind of critical issues, challenges that we are facing nowadays. So, it not only improves the social mobility, but also gives a platform for the open debate and to how to resolve the social problems and the critical issues. So, to educate and prepare the high quality teachers and educational leaders for all levels of education. So, expansion, equality and access does not mean only for higher education or the secondary level education, but for at all levels of education. So, improving the high quality teachers quality is again is a big factor, significant factor, improving the high quality teachers from the very basic level to the top level. Then at the same time, educational leaders, we require multiple number of large number of the educational leaders to lead all these educational institutions, who would be the authentic leaders, who will be the academic leaders, who will be the transformational leaders to bring all our institutions to that highest level of global citizenship behavior. So, to undertake the high quality, again high quality research is also required, high quality research and scholarship, as well as to promote its implementation for social benefit. So, research is not meant for being kept in the library or in the laboratory itself, but how this interdisciplinary research and the scholarship should be utilized for the social benefits. Like for example, we have the energy crisis, we have the sustainability crisis, we have the water crisis, we have this crisis or that crisis. So, we have to find out the solution through interdisciplinary research, through laboratory research, to fundamental research, to applied research, and we have to immediately implement those things to resolve our social issues, economic issues. So, to bring the bring the benefit of the acquired knowledge and skills to the community through outreach, partnership and service. So, here is that we have to, all of us, we have to develop the service orientation, that besides formal and informal education, how we are going to serve our community, to serve our society, to serve our people, and for that matter how to design our outreach programs, community outreach programs to serve the society, community, and how to how to establish the partnership, how to negotiate, how to establish the partnership with different agencies, with health agencies, with government agencies, NGOs, with even with the business houses. Like business houses, they have the CSR activities, corporate social responsibility activities, NGOs also working in the health and education, etc. So, how to negotiate, how to develop that network to build the partnership with different agencies working in different areas. So, if we can develop that network and we can work collaboratively, then ultimately the outcome, the result will be immense and marvelous for the social benefit. So, to nurture the right kind of leadership in the schools, colleges and universities in our country. So, leadership is, it's a high time now, we need the high quality of committed leaders, educational leaders, not only in our colleges and the universities, but at the schools, at all levels, at all schools, at the block level schools, rural school, primary school, secondary schools, at all level we require a large number of, huge number of educational leaders, and the leaders having the high value orientation, commitment, professionalism, ethics, values, and they are committed to deliver their best. So, that is why this course is meant for encouraging all our students and teachers and youth to be the educational leaders, to because we are falling short of that, those people who should lead our educational institutions. We have enough leaders in the large organizations and the big business houses, but we do not have that much of sufficient number of educational leaders at our educational institutions. So, we need to develop the total turnaround academic leadership of many prominent educationists and educational researchers or the policy makers in our country. So, those we are talking about the educational leaders, those who are not just principals, not just headmasters or the vice chancellors, but they are totally committed authentic academic leaders. That means, not only they have the orientation, they have the vision, their mission, they are committed to be the academic leader and authentic leader, and we have to nurture those kind of leadership quality among them, and we have to develop a large number of turnaround leaders, academic leaders to bring improvement in our academic institution and the education system as a whole. Now, some of the recent developments have already taken place, like recently the Government of India has already started the National Knowledge Commission or Knowledge Network to coordinate and connect all the top brass universities and institutions across the country. But however, as we have already discussed, we have a very tiny layer of top universities, and we have to increase not only in terms of the number of academic institutions and the schools and colleges, but in terms of quality also. So, MHRD has also started expanding its access to higher education by providing different kinds of courses, different kinds of courses, quality study materials through NPTEL videos, and also introduce virtual labs and various in-service training programs for the teachers, continuing teachers, then also bringing revising the curriculum and pedagogy through introducing some taxonomy, some pedagogical framework, then by using ICT, and again also Indian MOOC. Like this course is also under the MOOC platform, like creating the massive open online courses, different kinds of courses, professional courses, technical courses, humanities courses, management courses, and cater to the needs of our huge population, like all across the age groups, to not only make them educated, updated, and competent enough, but to improve their job skills, also professional skills as well. So, NAB similarly we have to uplift our credibility and authenticity of our curriculum, degrees, and the pedagogy at the international level. So, hence we have introduced this NAB, National Accreditation Board, and National Assessment and Accreditation Council for certification of which has become mandatory. That means every educational institution, they need to certify their own institution in terms of this NAB or the NAC assessment, and they must acquire a minimum level of eligibility criteria. So, and India has become also recently India has become the signatory of Washington Accord. That is the world class accreditation landmark or the parameter, like to declare that all our courses, curriculum, etc. are at par with the international standard, and all our students and the employees they can qualify for appearing in the interviews and all the academic courses at the global level. So, India has become a signatory of Washington Accord in June 2014, and the more grants and scholarships would be given for the science education, technical education, and for the research. Interdisciplinary research, etc., and research to be conducted in applied areas to solve our economic problems. Research should not be very whimsical or very theoretical or very you can say idealistic or very value oriented only, but it should be more in applied areas so that it can resolve our socio-economic problems. So, more vocational training centers would be open to educate our youth for the skilled manpower development, and to improve the infrastructure for creating better learning environment to complete to compete again in the knowledge based economy, because presently the economy is knowledge based economy. It's intellectual property right, patent, copyright. It's the age of knowledge. So, to compete in this knowledge based economy, we really need to invest equally in our primary education, higher education, vocational education, as well as the teacher education. Now, we can say that these are the 4 pillars of our education system. We have to strengthen our primary education, we have to strengthen our higher education system in terms of professional knowledge, skills, competence. Again, we have to introduce the vocational education for those who do not go for the higher education, and again we have to improve the teachers' quality and strengthen our teacher education system. So, we can say these are the 4 pillars of our education system, and we have to equally strengthen all these 4 pillars. So, the reform has just started, but very late and moves very slowly. Yes, the government has already taken some initiative and it has already started, but it is, you can say it's moving very slowly. We have to very speedy, we have to very active and very prompt and very proactive in moving ahead, and to compete with especially other Asian countries like Taiwan, China, Hong Kong, and Korea, South Korea, etc., Japan, etc., in terms of the technology, in terms of the quality, in terms of health, in terms of technology access, quality education, etc. And for that matter, and we the people of India, we the youth of India, we the teachers and students of India, we must act proactively, promptly, very promptly to strengthen our education system. Now, in this context, I would like to see this. We would like to see this YouTube video. So, thank you very much. I hope you have learned a lot from this course, and you will be applying this in your day to day life, in your education, in your academic behavior. Thank you very much once again.